Hello. I have, I don't even know how to phrase this. All I really want to say is like, oh my God, I'm seeing the magic of the universe. And I guess I want to talk about it. I just want to express what I've been seeing, what I've been reflecting on, and like kind of pieces that have been puzzling together recently that have led me to this conclusion that the universe is always listening. And I know people always talk about that. You know, you always hear about like law of manifestation or law of attraction, and there's been instances in my life where I experienced that, but I guess I've experienced it in pretty long form ways. But like my last video I made last Sunday, and it was me talking about a situation where I felt a final resolve in, and I felt myself coming to a place of knowing my decision, knowing how I wanted to move forward with something, and feeling resolved in that, and feeling like I had my feelings around the matter had shifted, so my perspective on the matter had shifted, and I'd found resolution over the matter within myself. And after I made that video, once I'd had that like resolution found within myself, it obviously hadn't been resolved in like life. Like that person wasn't aware of my thoughts or feelings, and there were thoughts of like needing to like make it known, but I also wasn't in too much of a rush to do that because it had just kind of settled in myself for like in that previous day or so. But there's something uncanny about universal timing that I love. I love it. And yeah, what I had said before, I guess up until now I'd always believed that universal timing was always this very long thing that tested your trust and your patience with the universe, because I've taken myself through waves of like, I guess it all does center around resolution in a way, because the first kind of instance of my understanding of like universal timing and resolution and like becoming at peace with things and settling stuff within yourself, and then just hoping that one day the external circumstances will eventually come to mirror your internal. And also within that, there's an acknowledgement and a surrender that sometimes it will and sometimes it won't. And maybe there's one situation that leads me to think sometimes it won't. And as I said that, I'm like, maybe it just hasn't been long enough. Because I think the best thing that you can kind of understand this through is the way that people talk about apologies, and the way that forgiveness and like resolution can be found with apologies. That like, you know, it's a classic situation. Something happens, someone hurts you, breakups is the easiest way. Or is it? Yeah, usually. Like somebody wrongs you and then they don't acknowledge that they ever did, and you just have to walk away, and you have to find your own peace, and you have to find your own resolution, and you have to move on, and you have to find some way to either like forgive the situation or forgive the person yourself. And that naturally takes time. And you always go into those lessons thinking that the point is to completely let go of ever expecting an apology, and that apology will never come to you, and so you just need to like resign to that almost. And what I've come to learn is that, I mean, an apology might not always come to you, and so what that is there's a shadow of a truth in that. But I think I've been able to move through life now removing that feeling of resignation, and it's been replaced by a feeling of resolution. So maybe this is all centering around resolution. That I will find forgiveness and I will find peace, knowing that like the forgiveness doesn't have to happen with an apology. And it's like, it's a really slight difference of feeling. It's a difference of feeling of like, this apology's never going to come to me, so I guess I just have to move on, to I can see the forgiveness, and I also know that there is I know that there is a part of this person, whether they're ready to say it or not, like there's a part of everyone that like, there is always those puzzle pieces that are going to come together. Like if somebody has wronged you, no matter how deep it is, there is a part of them deep down that knows that they've wronged you. And if I can extend my forgiveness, trusting that that part is within most people, I'll extend my forgiveness to that part of that person, knowing that they might, depending on how and who they are, that part of them might never come to light, and that's okay. But I can extend that, I can forgive them, I can forgive myself, and then I can move on. And what I found in that process is, how many times has it happened? 4 times out of 5, it might take some years. It might take months. Like in my case, it's taken years a lot of the time. A lot of the time, it's taken years for apologies. But they've always come around, especially when I've gone through that process. And it's this interaction of like, what I can only describe as having such a resolute and a strong understanding of what my reality is. Like my reality is now that there is forgiveness, this situation is done in a very like calm way, with no like feelings of ugh or like exhaustion. It's all tied up, and I feel satisfied and I feel content. That if that's on my inside, and if I announce that to the universe and I make it known that that's what my insides are, eventually, the outsides will come. Like whatever needs to be said to me, if I need to see that person again, or if that person needs to see me to express something, or like if I run into a person related to that person, or like tied to that person, like whatever circumstances need to happen in order for those microcosm things to align, it will. Like I said, it might take months, it might take years. Those are the instances that I've like always become familiar with, is that like, all right, might take months, might take years. But boy, last week, so I announced like, and I say announced, like not like I announced it to you guys, because like, y'all don't know anything in terms of my personal life. But I announced my state of being. I announced that I was like resolved in the situation. I know my choice. I know how I want to act. I know how I want to be. I know how I want to be moving forward and what I'm going to do moving forward. And it was a day later that the universe brought me the situation to be like, as a challenge, like, and I don't know, I don't want to say that as like a test of like, that I think that the universe is always out here to like push us to see us fail, but I guess that's not what a challenge is. The challenge is to see you at, it's to see where you're at. It's to challenge you to be like, all right, where are you at? And yeah, it challenged me because it was almost just like, I ran into this person that I hadn't expected to. And it was a point where I had to walk the walk. Like the day prior, I talked the talk and I needed to walk the walk. And I think I did a good job, all things considered. I don't think the interaction wasn't perfect. It wasn't great. But what I did walk away with, it, like it did end up reinforcing my standpoint, reinforcing my choices, reinforcing my decisions. And it rocked me for like a couple days. I was a bit like, like it wasn't great. And I was feeling good by like Thursday, Friday, but it took me a couple days. But I realized this morning, and I was reflecting with a friend yesterday, that I saw it. I was like, oh shit, like I really did announce that I want that this is how I'm feeling, and this is my life, and this is my reality. And it was at that point my bubble. Like, it was my reality, and it was my bubble of reality, and it was in my world. And the universe the next day gave me the opportunity to make it my reality everywhere. Like, not just to me, not just known to me, not just my decision, but known to this person, known to everything, to like balance out. And now, just like a week later, it's all real. And like, not only am I able to say, like, I've been able to feel into like the choices of self-worth. I've been able to like realize that like this is the thing that I'm allowed to do. I've done it now. I've actually like, I've turned thought into action. I've turned intention into motion. Like, it's all actually happened. And it was hard, and it was messy, and I had moments of self-doubt. And oh my God, am I so grateful for my friends. I'm so grateful for my friends. But I'm also so grateful for myself. And the feeling of like that beginning feeling of resolution that I was feeling a week ago now feels complete. It feels like I feel like I can close the chapter. And I don't say that with like finality. I know this person's going to be around, I'm going to see them, whatever, but I know I can handle myself. And I know that just, I don't have to sit in questioning and in doubt anymore. And oh, it feels so good. Feels so good. And it's like, it's how it feels when like you've waited 3 years and then you get an apology and you're like, oh my God. You know, like, it's the same feeling of like, oh, weight just goes whew. And like, I think the give take was that, like, I think when I waited like, 10 years, 3 years, when the apologies come, I haven't been rattled, or when the conversations come, I haven't been as rattled, or when the person's had to say something that I've known they need to tell me for a long time, and they say it, I'm not as rattled. I'm at like much more peace. I'm always like, yeah, okay, cool. This was a little bit of like a shock situation, but I'm glad that I handled it like that. Because honestly, I think that it maybe needed to. I was thinking, like, on that morning, I was thinking about it. I was thinking about sending a person a message, or like, I was thinking about taking action myself. But I also felt within myself, I was like, oh, I think I just need more time, which clearly the universe was like, no, you may think you need more time because time may be the thing that makes you more comfortable, but actually, just handle it now. And yeah, reflecting on it with a friend yesterday, I just realized that there is now this new level of reinforced faith, I think, that I have with, I can't say it anything else but with universe. Like, now that there's this interaction that is so obvious to me of like your inner world finding a way to mirror the outside world, and the universe being like a cog that works in wanting to integrate the two and to make the two as transparent and as congruent as possible. There's this feeling of like possibility and hope that's arising in me of just kind of like, oh shit. People talk about law of attraction. People talk about you just have to feel and like know that you're worth it, and like the things you have, you already have. And like, I've never understood what people mean. I've never gotten it. I've never understood what people mean when they say you have to feel the way that you feel, that you already have something. I've never gotten it. And I get it now. I get I get it. Like you can always try. You can always try. And I guess I've never really actively used law of attraction in that way. Like, I think I've understood manifestation. I've understood ask and you shall receive. But I've never really understood to this degree, like, be, and the universe shall meet you. You know? Which I guess they sound the same. Ask and you shall receive, and be and the universe will meet you. They sound like similar because it's like, although they sound, it's a bit, no, they don't. They're opposites. Wow. Thank you, kookaburras. Because I guess asking is that masculine. It's being like, I want this, and then the universe will bring it to you. But then I guess law of attraction is a more feminine manifestation because you are what you are, and then the universe will bring it to you. I feel like I'm hitting the nail on the head, and the kookaburras are like, get it, bitch. But I don't know why I said but. I guess I'm just feeling really like, I feel like a baby that's figured something out for the first time. And I'm like, holy shit, this exists in the world. I feel like a baby that's learned that you can like spoon feed yourself yogurt. And it's not just like your parents that have to do it for you. And like, oh my God, I have this much control over something that impacts my life so directly. It feels great. It feels very new, but it feels great. And that baby spoon analogy is really how I feel, because I think now that I know it, it doesn't mean I'm going to be able to do it every single day. I don't think I don't know when I'm going to be able to do it again. And even if it's like something that I want to do consciously, that's the other thing. People are like using law of attraction, law of manifestation, of like to do that, to like create the life that you want. And like, but I guess I never really know what I want. So that's probably also the thing that stops me from really engaging with manifestation. Is like, I really love floating through life and just seeing my life come together around me, because I don't have a strong knowing of what I want and what I believe my life should look like. I believe I feel a certain way and I feel like a certain kind of person, and I know that that's probably going to lead me somewhere. But for right now, I think I just need to like splash around in my paddle pool and be like, sure, fuck around some more. And I don't really know if I know how to take like a strong stance in the direction of my life yet. Like, you know, like it could be really easy to like be like, I want $1,000,000, but it's like, do I want $1,000,000? That's a lot of money. I don't know what to do with money. I've never had that much money in my life. I think that would freak me the fuck out to have $1,000,000. I rain on my own parade sometimes. But I guess, yeah, it's, you know, it's something, it's interesting. I guess it's a different dynamic that I haven't really felt before with the universe. I felt the dynamic and I felt the trust of being a certain way and like trusting that in time will bring it to me. But I never expected it to work so quickly, and I never expect myself to like handle it in the way that I've handled it. And it's also let me see that I've really changed in the way that I've handled things. Like this way that I've handled something, it wasn't just me handling it by myself. It was me going to friends and reaching out and asking for support and having like a new level of understanding of the action that I was going to take, and like creating a new creating boundaries at different times, and all of these things that are just like so new to me, and they feel like things that I was learning, I was laying the foundations of all of these lessons, like maybe the past like year, and the past like cycle year, and I guess we're coming to the end of the cycle, so it's like it makes sense. But this is a chance to like really see it come to fruition. Oh my God, Capricorn season, duh. Anyway, I'm just having a moment of like being really proud of myself, and I hope that you can take one of those moments for yourself too, because it's important to reflect on things, not just to develop yourself or to understand yourself, but to also celebrate yourself and to celebrate like where you've come from, and like to notice the differences and notice your growth and notice your changing, and to acknowledge that that has now taken place, and yeah, celebrate it and be like, oh my God. Because I know that for me, I can all too easily like walk through my life and just take things in stride and never really like value what, it all comes back to valuing myself. But I can't help it. Yeah, sometimes I miss the opportunity to value the lessons that I've been learning and trying to implement in my life. And I think also another thing is that like previous me could have just gone through this and come out of it grateful this thing has happened, and like grateful that I've learned stuff, and grateful that I've been able to be so strong, and like grateful that I've had this experience. It shows me more about myself and like blah blah blah. But like it's also like it's showing me that I'm grateful for like not only this instance but also this past year and the past everything that I've been doing, and all the moments that I've been like absolutely confused and really really unsure and feeling really doubtful of myself and feeling like a little bit self-betrayed and like pushing boundaries and pushing feelings of like uncomfortable edges of worth and choosing myself, and just like knowing that all of those things have been worth it and all of those things have been necessary because I've needed to be able to get through challenges, and this challenge in particular. And it's just really lovely. It's been like a mixture of like holy shit and also like holy shit, you know? It's really articulate, I know. But, oh, what's the word? Is articulate the word that I'm looking for? I didn't mean to say intelligent, but I guess I could have. Maybe it's interchangeable. Articulate's like words, right? Stop. Okay. Anyway, I think Aquarius season has made me feel really hopeful and really like broad-minded and like big picture oriented, and it feels really good to like sit in that, and then just acknowledging the lessons and the necessity of everything is just feeling really good. And yeah, the cycle year is going to end soon we're in Aquarius season. It's got one more season, so there's going to be a lot of feelings of wrap up and tie up and conclusion and resolution, and yeah, receive that in your life if you can, and initiate it in your life if you can. It's what a lot of the energies for this last quarter are going to be from like Sag season onwards. And then we'll get to Aries season, bitch, and shit will be like absolutely whack again. And we're on a whole new roller coaster. So yeah, I just want to share that because I think it's really lovely. And it took me a little blink to realize and to be like, oh my God. So if you need that, you deserve it. You deserve to like have a little moment of like, oh my God. Because I guarantee that you're probably deserving one. And I guarantee that, again, like I said in my last video, if you're here, there's been shit that's been piling up. And there's been lessons that have been, you have like a little book, I'm sure, of things that you've been reflecting on and patterns that you've been working through, and, you know, paths that lead you through to like certain core lessons that have probably ruled a lot of your life for a while, and maybe you're only coming into it in the past couple of years. Take some time to reflect and to be appreciative of every single moment of discomfort that's led you to whatever you've been tackling recently, or whatever you're about to tackle, or whatever you're going through right now. Because it's amazing. And you've done so well. Like, you've done really well. Promise. Whatever it is. And it's all worth it. Every decision's worth it. I promise. So yeah, have a great day. Sorry I'm framed really weirdly. Did I say that I got sunburnt? I got sunburnt, and there's like, I was sitting here, but then there's like sun, and I'm like, no. We got sunburnt. It's pretty not great. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. It was very red last night. I get really sad when I get sunburned because it's just my skin. Anyway, I'm gonna go have a great day, and I hope you do too. Bye.